I'm excited to finally have the Thrustmaster T818 wheelbase in the den. As soon as this product was announced, I've been looking forward to getting my hands on one to see what Thrustmaster's direct drive technology can offer in the highly competitive mid-range direct drive wheelbase market. Thrustmaster's first direct drive wheelbase was released at the end of 2022, which is a significant leap forward for the French manufacturer. Along with the T818 wheelbase, Thrustmaster also sent over the SF1000 Ferrari wheel for me to test and review. I'll share my experience with this product as well as how it performs when paired with the T818. Before we start, the usual hardware review disclaimer: Thrustmaster provided me with the T818 wheelbase, the SF1000 wheel, and mounting accessories free of charge for review purposes. However, all the opinions and thoughts expressed in this video are solely mine, and Thrustmaster did not get to see this review before it was made public. Direct drive wheels have become the new standard in the sim racing world. Attracting both seasoned and new sim racers, we've seen new players enter the market, such as Asetek Sim Sports with 3 new direct drive wheelbases, and even established wheel manufacturer Logitech entering the direct drive market with its first offering in late 2022. Now that I've had the opportunity to test Thrustmaster's latest wheelbase, I'll do my best to provide you with some information to help you make an informed decision. So what does the T818 offer, how does it perform, and is it worth considering for those looking for their first sim racing wheel or upgrading to a direct drive wheelbase? To begin with, let's take a look at some basic specs of the T818, which is a mid-range direct drive wheel that provides a continuous 10 Nm of torque. While some other wheels on the market can generate up to 25 Nm or even more, the T818's torque output is likely adequate for most and new sim racers, and it's comparable to other mid-range options. Thrustmaster claims that the T818 offers an unfiltered experience, but what does this mean, and is it just a marketing gimmick? We'll delve deeper into this feature later on in the review. The T818 comes equipped with a new fast-release wheel attachment system that guarantees backward and forwards compatibility with Thrustmaster wheel rims. Additionally, Thrustmaster pedal sets, shifters, and handbrakes are all compatible with the T818. The front housing features customizable RGB LEDs, and to further personalize its appearance, the metal plates on either side are interchangeable with a number of color options. Thrustmaster's direct drive wheelbase is priced at $650, but it's important to note that this cost doesn't include the wheel rim or pedals. If you're already using Thrustmaster wheels, this may not be an issue for you, but it represents an additional expense if you're new to the brand. It's also essential to consider the mounting compatibility with your cockpit or rig of choice, or whether you'll attach it to a table or desk. If your cockpit isn't compatible and you don't want to drill into your rig, you'll likely need to purchase either the desk mount or the cockpit mount, which costs $49.99 and $39.99 respectively. Furthermore, if you have multiple wheel rims, you'll likely require a quick release adapter for each, which costs an additional $34.99 per wheel. However, the box includes one to get you started. The aesthetics of a sim racing wheel are undoubtedly subjective, and the T818's unique hexagonal design will appeal to some but not to others. I do appreciate that the colored side panels are removable and that a range of colors is available to match your personal taste or setup. It's an excellent feature, but it would have been great to have the option to select a color of choice at the time of purchase. The T818 has a few notable features, such as the handy emergency cutoff switch on the right side of the base and the customizable RGB light surrounding the frame. The light can be set to any color you desire, but currently it's only a static option. But Thrustmaster states that these LEDs are ready to integrate in-game telemetry data for future integration with games, something they say they are already working on with some key developers. On the back of the wheelbase, you'll find the standard ports for power, a USB-C connection for PC connectivity, and additional ports for connecting Thrustmaster pedals and peripherals. However, I find it inconvenient that the power button for the wheelbase is located at the rear, as it would be more accessible on the side or front. The T818's base design has a lot of plastic, including the air intake and quick release system, which detracts from the wheel's overall appearance and makes it feel less premium than its metal-bodied competitors. While the quick release system is convenient, it could be more affordable and better designed. For example, the large plastic adapter required for each wheel rim adds to the wheel's overall low-quality feel. I appreciate the clamp-style release though for quick changes, and it only takes seconds to swap wheels provided you have an adapter for each of your wheel rims. However, removing the adapter requires unscrewing it from the wheel, which can be inconvenient if you need to transfer it. Ideally, if you have multiple Thrustmaster wheels, Purchasing an adapter for each one would make the easiest wheel swapping experience. Some earlier reviews I watched of the T818 reported issues with bending or flexing in the quick release system, but I personally did not experience any such problems while driving. I even tried physically moving it, but I'm not sure if the minimal flex that you see is coming from the wheel itself or the quick release, although it does look like they've made some improvements. However, since the T818's quick release system is entirely made of plastic, it may not be the most durable design option in the long run. Thrustmaster included a cockpit mounting adapter with the wheelbase for me. However, the bolt holes match perfectly with my ASR Pro standard wheel deck. Nonetheless, this may not be the case for everyone, and it's essential to research mounting compatibility before purchasing the unit. It would be beneficial for Thrustmaster to maybe include these adapters in the box in order to prevent the frustration of unboxing a new wheelbase only to find out that it will not mount to your rig without an adapter. Also, I would assume that most would prefer not to drill new holes into their rig, as this could cause overlapping and damage to the wheel deck. The mounting kit and desk mount worked well with my ASR wheel deck and provided some extra adjustability, but there are some areas for improvement. For instance, the cockpit mount is flat and lacks an angle adjustment, resulting in the wheel sitting flat on your deck, which is not ideal for my preferred seating position. However, it may be comfortable for someone after a formula seating position. Unlike the front mount for my SimiCube wheelbase, my ASR standard wheel deck only provides height and distance adjustments, with no angle adjustment available. Hence, I would have appreciated some angle adjustment in the Thrustmaster cockpit mount. To address this issue, I got creative and utilized the cockpit mount, installing additional bolts to raise the front of the wheelbase slightly. Although this solution is not officially recommended, it worked well for me to get the desired angle I was after. The desk mount is angled by default, but there is no way to adjust that set angle, leaving you with no choice but to stick with how it comes. All in all, mounting the T818 could be improved and would be great if Thrustmaster could incorporate some of these enhancements, especially since the cockpit mounting accessory is an additional expense for anyone who requires it. Let's move on to the most critical aspect of performance and driving experience. During my testing, I tried out the T818 across various games, including my usual go-tos like Assetto Corsa, ACC, and iRacing. Additionally, I even tried F1 2022, a game I don't usually play much, but trying it out with a formula-style wheel made sense. It's important to note that currently the T818 is only compatible with PC, but worked flawlessly with all the titles I tested it with. Thrustmaster touts the unfiltered feedback of the T818 as its most prominent feature, which may sound like just another marketing gimmick. However, they provided me with some detailed technical information on what they mean by this. Allow me to dive into some of the nerdy details and summarize it for you based on the information they shared with me. The rotor's quick rotation, known as angular acceleration, provides the force feedback that you can feel under your hands when playing games. It is the key element for strong and consistent force feedback, as it determines how the rotor starts and stops rotating. Thrustmaster claims to optimize angular acceleration using the net torque formula, which is the motor's power and moment of inertia, which is based on the radius and mass of everything that rotates, including the rotor shaft, quick release, and wheel rim. Increasing net torque or decreasing moment of inertia, or both, can increase angular acceleration. Thrustmaster notes that net torque can be increased indefinitely, but stronger and heavier materials are required to support the increased forces. However, a heavier construction results in higher moment of inertia, potentially leading to an unchanged or even lower angular acceleration. Thrustmaster aims to strike a balance between a high net torque and low moment of inertia, and has increased moment of inertia by reducing the mass of the T818 using lightweight materials like composite plastic and aluminum. Thrustmaster claims that this reduces the need for damping or filtering to convert digital signals from games into physical movements, resulting in an unfiltered experience. In other words, the T818 can respond more quickly and accurately to the information sent by the game. The balance between power and mass is optimized, allowing for fast acceleration and deceleration. The lack of filtering enables the T818 to maintain as much of the game's detail as possible, improving immersion and providing drivers with more information to react to. However, this can make the driving experience feel brutal at first, and some time may be required to adapt. Thrustmaster acknowledges that applying filters can make the driving experience smoother and easier for beginners, but can also soften the game's effects. Whether you agree with this explanation or their philosophy behind the T818, it was noticeable to me in the performance and extreme modes that something unique was going on behind the scenes to produce a driving feel I've not yet experienced with a mid-range wheelbase before, but it may not be for everyone. The T818 features 4 different profiles within its control panel: Comfort, Sport, Performance, and Expert, each offering varying degrees of reactivity, with Comfort providing the most filtered and Expert providing the most unfiltered experience. By default, the T818 is set to Sport mode with a master gain of 50%. However, Thrustmaster recommends that experienced sim racers and direct drive users start with the Performance profile at a master gain of 100% before adjusting the power using the in-game settings. I noticed that the Comfort setting was a bit spongy and the Sport setting was underwhelming. The Extreme setting is designed to deliver the rawest, most unfiltered experience, but I personally found it too overwhelming in most of the sim titles that I tested. When using the Performance mode, I was able to find a satisfactory setup for most titles that felt like the right balance for me. For most games, I set the forces to 100% and the damper to 0%, then made further adjustments in-game to dial in my desired setup. I personally prefer higher force feedback, so I aim to maximize the wheel's capabilities. While I found the Extreme setting to be too harsh and not enjoyable, those who need help finding their preferred configuration may feel limited by the software's lack of customization options compared to other direct drive wheels on the market, such as those from Fanatec. However, I appreciate Thrustmaster's user-friendly approach, which may make setup and configuration a more accessible experience for new sim racers or first-time direct drive users. The T818 offers the expected performance of a direct drive base and excels in providing an immersive driving experience by doing a great job of conveying grip and track surface details. However, the experience may vary across different sim titles, which is typical regardless of the wheelbase used, and getting the in-game settings dialed in is key to unlocking the full potential of this wheelbase. After optimizing the settings, the T818's performance was very impressive. As a potential first-time direct drive user, I think it's still crucial to research and compare the T818 to other offerings from competitors like Fanatec and Moza Racing. While the T818 is competitive and has some strengths, its design features, quick release system, and additional mounting accessories may need improvement to keep up with the competition. Nonetheless, if you're already a Thrustmaster customer and have a collection of wheels, upgrading to the T818 is a sensible choice for entering the world of direct drive wheelbases. I hope you found this review helpful and informative. If so, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button, as it helps recommend my content to other sim racing enthusiasts. Also consider subscribing to my channel for more sim racing content and hit the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Until the next one, stay safe and enjoy your racing.